So quickly changing the subject, staying on the Mets, but staying with DeGrom. If we rewind back to the opening day, the Mets opening day got delayed because the Nationals COVID thing, yada, yada, yada. They played, their opening night was against the Phillies. DeGrom was what DeGrom is always. He's unhittable, stupid, silly, disgusting, what have you. I texted Scott the minute he got taken out with 70-something pitches after 6 or 7 innings. I was like, Mets bullpen implosion incoming. Now, this is kind of the philosophy throughout the game, especially in April, especially in the beginning of the year when the weather's cold and we're still building up arms. It's not push guys to 100 pitches. But this is something we see from DeGrom every single time, basically every single time he's out there. He gets taken out after 7 or 8 or 6. He only has 1 run of run support. He's given up nothing. And then the bullpen just completely blows it. This is becoming a unfortunate theme for DeGrom's career. So right off the bat, Luis Rojas is on the hot seat because of this move that he made on opening day. Do we fundamentally have a problem with the way we're protecting pitchers too much, or do you just think that this is the way it is and we just have to accept it?
I mean, I'm thankful it happened, but it is an issue. Like going into the game, Rojas said, we're going to try and get DeGrom up to around 100 pitches. This guy's the best pitcher in the game. And over the last, I think since 2018, he's got a losing record in his starts, but he's got like a 2 ERA. Like the guy is absolutely disgusting. At one point in the game, he had thrown 40 pitches and 39 of them were fastballs. And he was just blowing away Phillies batters. They had 0 chance to win this game if Jacob DeGrom went 7 innings. Like, as soon as he came out, you could just
knew the Phillies were going to win.
You knew a couple years ago on opening day, the Phillies did the same thing to Aaron Nola. He was in the 5th inning and had thrown 65 pitches and he got pulled, but he was dominating the Braves. And after the game, Freddie Freeman said, as soon as Nola came out of that game, we knew we were going to win. The same thing happened in the World Series this past year. When Blake Snell came out of the game, Mookie Betts said, we knew we were going to win that game. Like, these guys are aces. They're number ones for a reason. Let them go. Like it's not like he's some schlub that hasn't proven himself yet. Like, let the man pitch. Like, he's deserved every right to go out there and prove that he's in control of the game until he's not in control of the game.
I'm with you. I don't know. I can't really say much more about Jacob DeGrom. Like, it's the same thing with Garrett Cole. And like, I guess I could kind of relate it to the Yankee situation with like Judge and Stanton right now and resting players we've had 2 off days already. Today's now the 2nd Yankee scheduled off day. And the season started last, Friday?
Yeah, it's been a week.
So as far as babying professional athletes, I feel like I can talk for hours about that. But like Jacob DeGrom was making headlines for throwing 102 miles an hour in spring training. They're like, oh, he's in midseason form. And then opening day yanked at 77 pitches. I don't know. It's just questionable from Rojas. There's really not much more to it, but like, was he trying to get cute? I'd be more curious to figure out like why he did it. Like, was there a planned scheduled pitch count? Probably not. Cause he said he wanted to get him to 100. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think it's a matter of getting cute because when you have Jacob DeGrom, you would want him to go 9 innings every time. You get cute when it's Taijuan Walker, when it's Marcus Stroman, a guy that's not going to go into the 7th, 8th, or 9th. And, the questions that the Mets have with their pitching staff, let's face it, for as big a game that Marcus Stroman talks, he hasn't exactly been an ace in his career. Who knows when and if Syndergaard's going to come back or return to form. Taijuan Walker's, he's a good pitcher. He's okay. And of course, the bullpen has been a question mark and a Achilles heel for the Mets forever now, for the last 3 or 4 years. So when you have DeGrom, much like the Yankees, when you have DeGrom and Cole, that's your sure thing. And you need to use those games, not only to get length from your starters, get 7, 8, 9, get an automatic win, but to give your bullpen a break. And I know it was opening day, and I know the Mets didn't play a game before because it got canceled. And I know the bullpen was rested because they haven't pitched since whenever their last spring training appearance was. But there's certain athletes and there's certain pitchers in baseball. Cole's one, DeGrom's one. Kershaw in his prime was one. You can say Nola is approaching there. Bauer, maybe. When you're looking at the pitch count and the innings limit, you throw the analytics out the window because this is your ace. This is your guy. This is your alpha. And there's some guys, in my opinion, there's some pitchers that negate this analytical error in baseball.
Yeah, there's got to be your manager has to have that feel and understanding of the game when you look out there and your guy who's should be probably could have won 3 straight Cy Youngs is shoving the ball down the opponent's throat to say, you know what, he's going to give us the best chance to win on this given day. Not what this binder next to me says, oh, Trevor May is going to come in and make his Mets debut and be phenomenal. Like, you can't always trust that. Like I don't know, like let DeGrom go 8 and take your chances with Edwin Diaz, because even though he's questionable at times, he still does have great stuff.
Yeah.
And at that point, I mean, when he came out of the game, it was 2-0 Mets, and like they were in control, and the Phillies offensively like weren't really doing anything. So if they got to the point where it was DeGrom and Edwin Diaz, like who knows? Like especially 9th inning, like that's only 3 outs to figure it out. It made no sense to me. And just watching the game, as soon as it happened, it was a win. I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, it's so much easier to take him out after 8 than after 6 because, if you go by the numbers, if you take him out after 6, that means you need 9 outs from 3 guys. Odds are one of them's not going to pitch well. I mean, that's just the way it goes. You can't expect every reliever to be on. So if you give him 8 and you're only asking one reliever to be on, that's statistically probably a much better blueprint to winning than relying on 3 relievers every night, especially when your ace is pitching. The adage that everyone in baseball says is that, the batting average on the 3rd time around spikes up for any other pitcher. But the 3rd time around against Jacob deGrom, you're most likely going to have the same outcome as the 1st time against Jacob deGrom. You're going to get out. So it didn't make sense to me. And, maybe in July they keep him out there. And maybe this is just an April thing. I would hope so, but you never know. But it was bad, and Mets Twitter freaked out, rightfully so. But it was funny for us who don't like the Mets naturally because we're Yankees and Phillies fans. It was fun for us, but as baseball fans, we want to see DeGrom push it because it's fun to watch. I know Scott was probably not rooting for it in the moment because it was against his Phillies, but if it was, a game against the Royals in May, and you just appreciate DeGrom if you're a Phillies fan. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, who knows?
No, absolutely. I do. You got to appreciate greatness when it happens.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully that this is just kind of like a one-time thing, and DeGrom can go 8 innings every start for the rest of the way. Let's move on across the river to the Yankees. There's some good things with the Yankees. There's some questionable and concerning things with the Yankees. We'll start with the bad because I'm a pessimist at heart.
Okay.
Their runners in scoring position in their homestand wasn't good. I did the math last night. They hit under 230 in the homestand with runners in scoring position. Judge is dealing with some mysterious thing. They say he's sore. I took the vaccine this morning. I'm sore. I probably could play a baseball game if I wanted to. So we'll see if there's anything a little bit more than that. He has to play in the turf this weekend in Tampa. We'll see if he skips that series entirely. Who knows? Stanton has gone off to a rough start other than the Grand Slam. And then obviously the kind of main story from last night was Glaber's defense. So around the horn, I'm not really sure which one we're going to start with. I guess we'll start with Judge because, his health is always at the forefront of Yankee universe. It's never easy. It's never easy. Now, tomorrow he could be in the lineup for all I know, and this is just a 1 game off thing. But, God, can we ever just not need to worry about Aaron Judge? I mean, even before the season started, he was quote unquote sick, under the weather. And then, I watched him on Wednesday, a game that they won. He hit that big home run. He wasn't moving around great, kind of didn't give a great effort on a fly ball down the right field line. The Yankees announcers said that he was, business decision, kind of whatever. I knew he went first to third. They did a replay, didn't look great there either. It's nauseating at this point that this guy just can't keep his body right.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't have anything else really to say. other than like our stars are just not stars. Like, I don't know how to put it into words. Like, I can only just feel as a Yankee fan, like year in and year out, I just know where we are now and where we have been, and like just being invested. Like, how long are we going to go being number one in the power rankings in the lineup, number two, number three, whatever, top three, top five, guaranteed every single year? This is the best lineup in baseball. And we trot Aaron Hicks out there in the 3 spot every single night. And when it's not Aaron Hicks, guess who it is? It's Brett Gardner, who I must tip my cap to yesterday or 2 nights ago, if you're watching on the day the pod dropped. Had a pretty good game. I'll give him that. Nice little sack bunt. Nice little hitting. But like,
someone who's a bench player shouldn't be put into the lineup and then put third. That
we
doesn't make sense
signed
to
him
me.
a month and a half ago. We signed him literally a month and a half ago. Like, that just shows the priority in bringing Brett Gardner back. And then now he's in the 3 hole. I don't care who you are, how much you like Brett Gardner, how much you wanted him back, how much you wanted him to go. 90% of people would agree that Brett Gardner is not a guy you want in the 3 hole. And I just want to, before I pass the baton again here and end my rant, I have this little interactive guide that I built here, and I have the Yankees filtered right now. So for average on base percentage, slugging, and OPS, when I sort for average, person at the bottom of the list at 100 is Aaron Hicks. I sort on base percentage, guy at the bottom of the list, 217. But I thought he draws walks. I thought he gets on base. I don't know. 20 plate appearances, not happening. Slugging, 100. OPS, 317. Guy doesn't have an extra base hit. He has 2 hits all year. Why is he in the 3 hole? And why do we love him so much? I don't know. I'm sorry. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, it's got to be so frustrating for you guys, and just all Yankee fans, that Aaron Judge has all the talent in the world, and he's just never there. You can't rely on him to be there when you need him, like just physically, like, because if he is there, he's going to produce. He's going to do his job. Um, it, it's rough because, like, I don't think of him as a top tier player in this league because he's just not on the field enough to go off of, Aaron Hicks hitting left third. It's because he's really the only lefty in the lineup, and he's not even a true lefty. He's a switch hitter. They do it just to break up all the bats.
That's another question I think we can touch on maybe later. Why is he still trying to hit righty?
You think he should just be one side?
But like, listen to this. He knows, the Yankee organization knows how right-handed this lineup is and how badly we need left-handed hitters. We're using him in high leverage spots from the left side of the plate, and he doesn't produce from the right side of the plate. He's hardly hitting from the right side of the plate throughout the game. So why is he even devoting time to hitting to the right side of the plate when this guy could develop into a pretty solid left-handed bat for the Yankees? Like, he doesn't have a bad swing. When he connects, it goes. He's just not consistent enough. And
I think Hicks'
changed.
problem, I don't think it's his talent. I don't think it's his ability. I just think he's too tentative at the plate. I think they drilled it into his mind that you're here to work the count and work a walk.
And he shouldn't be
as
batting
Tyler
third,
said, yeah, I agree. But as Tyler said, like, he has a pretty smooth swing, especially from the left side. If he would just attack pitches earlier in the count and he can launch some over the right field wall, maybe this conversation's a little bit different. And maybe we're like, maybe it is worth having him third from the left side. But, it doesn't make sense for your 3-hole hitter to be looking for walks. That's just naturally just the definition of a 3-hole hitter is not that. The definition of a 3-hole hitter is to drive the baseball and drive in runs. Now, they want Hicks to be kind of like a leadoff hitter. Hicks does walk a lot over the course of an entire season. Hicks is going to be up there in on base percentage and walks. Won't be in high on average because he doesn't swing the bat as much as he needs to, but he will have a high on base percentage because he walks. So what I kind of thought was, why not flip Hicks and DJ? If you have DJ third, who drives the ball all the time with authority, and you have Hicks leading off the game, he walks, then all of a sudden you have Judge, DJ, Stan. I think that's much more beneficial to the Yankees lineup than the current DJ, Judge, and then Hicks, and then to get to Stanton.
I don't get why we can't have Judge bat third. Like, It's just mind blowing to me that there's even a
There's so many
conversation.
people that can bat third. You can bat Stan third. You can bat Glaber third. You can bat or Scheller could bat third. Like there's the Clint Frazier could bat third if he's going well. There's so
I
many
agree.
3-hole hitters on this team. The one guy that's not a 3-hole hitter is hitting third. It doesn't make sense to me.
I don't understand why, with a guy like Aaron Hicks, why there's such a problem where people are going back and forth trying to figure out whether he's a good one hitter or a good 3-hole hitter. If you told me we were deliberating, oh, I don't know where to put this guy, and we just redacted his name completely. Said, I don't know, he's got to hit leadoff. He would really help the team. Oh, but I really like him in the 3 spot. I would never guess that guy that you were playing tug of war with is Aaron Hicks, of all people on the Yankee roster. Like, give me a break. What is the infatuation with Aaron Hicks?
Yeah, I don't know. He's a role player, and they're putting him into high leverage spots. If they put him in a different spot, takes so much more pressure off of him, and then he performs to a level that is expected for him. Like, he's not a star player. Like last year, Clint Frazier hit at the bottom of the lineup, and he got a lot of fastballs to hit, and he produced, and he he should have earned his way up the lineup. And opening day, he was batting ninth. Like that's not right either. Like, there's people that belong in certain spots, if you get what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
at this point, Brett Gardner should be hitting 8th or 9th when he's in the lineup. Like, he shouldn't be getting slid right into the 3 spot because, oh, that's where Aaron Hicks is in the lineup, or that's where like Judge is in. Like, that's not how it works. It's not like it's a set fixed lineup that you have to build off of every day. Like, it's a living, breathing thing. Like, if someone's playing well, like, bump them up. If someone sucks, bump them down. Like, it doesn't need to be.
That's the way we've been taught how baseball works
It
since we were
shouldn't
in
be.
kids.
It shouldn't be scribbled into a stone. It should be,
Yeah.
on a whiteboard where
It's almost
you can
like
erase
on the
it.
whiteboard, it has the positions lined up in the order, and then whoever is in that position that day is that batting order. So,
Yeah.
like Hicks is a center fielder. So if Gardner's playing center, then the center fielder bats third. That's what the Yankees are essentially doing.
I would argue that I would rather have Gary Sanchez in the 3-hole than Aaron Hicks.
Well, he's
Sanchez has
swinging
been
right
good.
now. Yeah, he's swinging the bat
Like,
He's
well.
swinging well.
In
He
all
didn't
honesty.
hustle on that one play, or 2 plays, but
He
it's fine.
tagged up on a ball that was
Um,
like medium depth to right field.
He
Right
did.
center.
He did.
Pretty good baseball.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
Let's tackle another negative for the Yankees. They're 3-3. They won the series against Baltimore. They lost the series against Toronto. Whatever. It's gonna happen. Something that the
happens
Yankees are gonna
every
have to
year,
monitor,
Glenn.
and they've been monitoring for a while, is Glaber's defense at shortstop. Now, you got everybody in the world knows that Glaber's my guy. I love him to death, and I would take a bullet for him. But I am
A little
the most
excessive.
unbiased baseball fan ever. I am always objective. That was a horrible, horrible error that cost the Yankees the game. I said it. It definitely cost the Yankees the game. It was a routine ground ball that every shortstop in Major League Baseball would make, and any professional shortstop, even collegiate shortstop, would make, and Glaber did make it. Now, you can make the argument that, there wasn't an experienced first baseman. You can make that argument. But, a bad throw is a bad throw. This loss against Baltimore is not going to kill the Yankees and torpedo their season, even though in the moment I react like it does. Over the course of the season, though, and as we get closer to the pennant race into the playoffs, Glaber is going to be out there at shortstop. Now, there's a problem because the fan base, and I'm sure, people, if you put them on a lie detector, would say they don't necessarily trust Glaber, his throws or getting to the ball. How big of a problem could this potentially be to the Yankees, a team that says they are ready to win a championship?
I mean, gotta be concerning. The shortstop is probably your second or third most important position. Catcher being number 1, so that's already an issue for the Yankees. So if your second most important fielding position is also an issue, that's a major issue. I can definitely make the argument for, you have Luke Voigt there at first base. He makes that play and bails Glaber out, but you shouldn't
It's
have
not a
to.
guarantee though.
It's not a guarantee, and you shouldn't have to always rely on your first baseman to bail you out. Your shortstop needs to be able to make that throw 99 out of 100 times. Yeah, if Mark Teixeira's there, he's going to bail him out, but Mark Teixeira is not leaving the ESPN booth anytime soon to come play first base
Well,
for the
he is because he got
Yankees.
fired from ESPN.
Oh, is he? I didn't realize he got fired.
Yeah.
So he could be available. He might, walk onto the field, but he's not. Glaber's got to make that play. In all honesty, it was the catcher that was running, Pedro Severino. So not a guy with a lot of speed, and he just botched it. And they did come back and tie it up again, but they
That's
don't
a
get,
walk off of that.
yeah, they don't get to that point if he makes that play.
Yeah, it's infuriating. I just feel like it goes back to the same issue where like they're trying to, I guess, keep people in the lineup and not really care much about the defense and just go with the, hey, we're going to out hit you strategy, but they're not hitting. And that's where the frustration lies for me, at least, is just like, if they're going about their plan and like making progress towards it, but they weren't as good, then I'd be fine with it. But they're the Yankees. They've gone in a certain direction saying, we're going to do this. We're close. We're close. We're close. And then they just don't perform to their plan. And like, it's pretty disappointing, I guess. I don't know.
What do you think the solution is for Glaber? Do you think it's just a matter of he needs to just get the more reps he gets over the course of the summer, he's bound to get better by October? Or do you think this could be a situation where, the Yankees are in the market for another middle infielder, and they move around the infield where
That's the problem.
Glaber goes back to second, DJ goes to first. What do you think is the more likely scenario?
They keep doing that. Like, you can't keep taking hitters out of the field, keeping them in the lineup, and saying, oh, we got a DH spot, because now we have 3 people that they would like to use the DH spot on. You throw Gary Sanchez in there if you want to keep his bat in the lineup. It's 4 guys. Like, I don't know, unless Urshela's the odd man out, which at this point, I mean, through how many games could be, it's possible. He doesn't really look great. He got banged up yesterday. I don't know, but like, we also forget that Glaber's also like 23, 24 years old, and
yeah,
reps might just be the answer. I think that's probably more so the case because he's an athletic guy. He's Glaber Torres. Like,
and he's in good shape. He came in good shape this year. And, sometimes it's just a matter of the more ground balls you take, the better you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really see a reason why he can't get better defensively. And they kind of have pigeonholed themselves infield wise because, Gio's great at third base. He's got a great glove. LeMahieu's a Gold Glove winning second baseman. Voigt he's there for his bat. He's not there for his defense. So like when he comes back, like they're going to want to get him in the lineup. It's not like there's a lot of movement that they can make. So I think they're kind of stuck with Glaber at shortstop, even if they do want to make a move, just doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I definitely think that, they're just going to keep running him out there, and, he's going to have to sink or swim. I think that's just how it's going to work, at least for the first half of the year, and then we'll see what happens when July rolls around. Let's talk about the good with the Yankees quickly, because we'll move on to Scott's Phillies and then some miscellaneous baseball stuff to end
Half
it.
hour on the bad, quickly on the good.
Yep, that's me. The Yankees pitching's been fantastic. Cole obviously is great. Kluber pitched well. Tyone coming back after 2 years off. He was good. The bullpen's lights out even without Britton and without Wilson, who Wilson will be back tomorrow. Britton will be back next month. The big question about the Yankees coming into the season was their pitching, but the first homestand, they pitched amazing and the bats were slow. So you got to figure the bats will eventually wake up because they're too good not to. And then if the pitching stays on this level, then you got a pretty good team.
Yeah. I mean, I think Scott mentioned it like a while ago when we were talking about bullpens, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you said like sometimes and most of the time the best bullpen comes when it's just a bunch of no-name guys thrown together.
Yeah.
And like, that's not what the Yankees bullpen really is. But like at this point in the season with guys out, Chapman came and joined the team a little bit late. I don't know, like guys like Michael King stepping up. Like, Luis Sessa, the eternal Yankee, it seems like coming back in, throwing lights out
Jonathan
yesterday.
Loaisiga, Nick Nelson, these guys that, in previous years come in and you're like, oh my God, why is Aaron Boone throwing away the game right now? All of a sudden they've been lights out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even though they lost that game on Sunday, Michael King comes in and throws 6 innings and kind of bailed them out and saved them, going into that Baltimore series to not, they didn't have to use a lot of good guys on that Sunday game where Herman didn't start out well. Like that, those are important games, even though it's a loss. Chapman was all over the place last night, but
Figured it out.
was still effective and figured it out. And once you get, Justin Wilson's a very good lefty. He'll be, important in that role. Chad Green is always pretty solid, and Kluber looking good is huge because it was a risk. I mean, it was low risk, high reward kind of signing because the money was low. But like, if he wasn't right and wasn't healthy, and wasn't able to pitch, like that leaves a huge hole in the Yankees rotation. But he's looked really good so far, and if Tyon can continue to get better and be what the Pirates thought he was going to be, that's a really good 1-2-3. Plus, Severino's coming back at some point this summer, and we all know what he can do. Pitching is going to win you a lot of games, and Garrett Cole's going to lead the way for them, and you got to take the positives where they are, especially early season. Like,
yeah,
the
they're
Yankees,
3-3.
Yeah,
they're 3-3. So there's good and there's bad. Yeah, so the bad has been the offense, the good has been the pitching, and that leads to 3-3. So that's just where they are right now. They take on Tampa this weekend, then go to Toronto, not to Toronto. They go to Dunedin to play Toronto, which is annoying. And then they come home again and play the Rays. So a lot of divisional opponents early on. I'm not sure if that was COVID related or just how the chips fell.